What does a good relationship look like? You are in the Love Coaches podcast. Coach Andres is here with me. How are you doing, buddy?
What's going on, Alex?
I love this topic. I love this topic because I know that good relationship, it's not something that we understand easily. And I think it's very important that we talk about it. But life is amazing. What about you?
Life is great. Thank you. I'm honestly, things are going very, very well overall. Just very grateful for health, family, and everything to be doing what we're doing because, I know you just recently had your second.
Yeah.
My brother just had his first. And so like people always, and I get this, and I trust me, I always look at it where, Andres, how are you a coach? You're single. And I'm like, I get it. I know what I'm looking for, but it's because I'm around good relationships. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And that's the source of what I coach from.
But to rebound on what you're saying as well, my thing since day one was, it's not because now I'm married and have kids. Since day one, I was also a good coach because I care about people, because I have the tools to help, and because I have the dedication and the passion. And we were talking about the podcast, but how many great results we got lastly. Like I helped so many people getting back together, women, men, getting remarried after divorce, like situation I have not seen. But since the beginning of this month, I feel so blessed. I feel so powerful as a coach. I feel like love is amazing. And so you don't have to be married. You don't have to have kids to be able to help someone else.
I agree.
And if I see something in you that I see in myself, and I think that's why we have a great duo, is that we are for the people. Ladies, we help you, we stick with you, we talk to you directly when something is wrong, but always with love. And so that's why we get the results all together.
Well, tough love.
Tough love. Tough love. I heard this expression. I learned this expression, and it's exactly where we are. And we are not influencer, YouTuber. We are not here as your friend, even if we love you. We are here to deliver the results. Yeah. And good relationship, it's not easy to understand. So I want to ask you this, Coach Andres. What makes for you a good relationship?
Awareness. Awareness, I feel like, is the beginning stage of someone's place and what they are and who they're with. So like they've done the work, they're appreciative, they're present, they're engaged, they're not just stuck in their head, they're not repeating mistakes, they're not, calculating things, they're presently aware, they're engaged. And that way it starts almost like the foundational point to knowing like they're the eye contact, to the communication, to the trust, to the loyalty. What I always say in the beginning stages of dating, you need to value high character and consistency. And so when you get more and more of that, you see how someone's so aware that consistency and communication is clear. Communication and consistency is important. It's valuable. So someone's awareness of that is showing you that they're taking this a little more serious. They're more prepared. They're a little more mature and ready for something more like a relationship compared to whatever you've done before.
That's a very good point. I want to rebound on my idea based on yours.
Oh, I want to hear it.
I think that I will talk about myself today. In this podcast, I want to talk about myself because I have a strong ego. No, seriously. I think that the number one thing for good relationship is accountability.
Beautiful.
I realized something now talking to you, that when I was younger, when I was a boy, my thing was, yes, but I was never taking accountability. If you tell me something wrong, I will talk about something wrong that you have done. And it was like always back and forth. Becoming a man, it's owning. If you want to have a great relationship, you need to have a great accountability. Exception to the people that have a lot of empathy, because the goal is not to be at fault.
No.
You're not the only one responsible for everything.
No.
But if you don't take accountability, you cannot change, you cannot evolve, you cannot grow. And so I feel being in a good relationship means knowing what are your flaws as well, what can you improve, and not hiding them or not putting them on the side just to show your beautiful face. So I think for me, it was accountability that really changed and maybe made me what I think a great partner.
Well, you look at it with, again, we always try to bring, examples to different kinds of forms of relationships. If you're an employer looking for an employee, or let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for an investment, are you going to look for accountability?
Of course.
right?
Yeah.
So why would you not in the relationship world?
That's a good point.
Right there. Because
That's
if I can't be accountable on you on certain basic things as a corporate worker or a coworker or a manager to employee, I don't care how nice you are. I don't care how much you compliment me. I don't care about this love bombing. Accountability. Mm-hmm. Because you now show that person's ready.
Yeah.
You show that person's prepared. They're locked in. They're saying, okay, correct me when I'm wrong, please. Constructive criticism. Cool. Like you said, when it comes to arguments, they're like, let's sculpt this. Let's mold this. I'm here. I'm invested. I'm not going away. When you have accountability, you're building something. You're invested in something. And it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be smooth. It's not going to be easy. But you're committed and you're invested. And when you have that, you don't care about right or wrong. You don't care about ego and power.
Yeah, that's the thing that we need to just put this on the side.
Yes.
If we want a great relationship. In the meantime, I've coached so many women. They are not in a great relationship because they are feeling always guilty or they will listen to guys that will put the fault on them. But if the guy is not accountable, if he's not aware, as was your number one point, ladies, it's not only your fault. So how can we navigate good relationship without being too nice? I want to ask you this question because I feel it's something very important to this world.
To be too nice as the woman or too nice as the man?
As both, even for us as men, I found myself being too nice before and not being in great relationship because of it, because I was giving too much, because I was taking advantage of, all of those situations. So let's put the sex on the side. Just how can we have a great relationship without being, what can I say? Without having someone that is on top of us.
Gotcha. I think I know where we're going with this, and I know it's boundaries. Boundaries.
I love it.
Boundaries. And it's because we talked about this before on one of our YouTube videos, if not a few times, because it's a very popular topic of boundaries. Regardless if you're nice or not, I don't care. But if you don't respect my boundaries, that's it. You know what I mean? You know what a nice person's all about, but you want to find someone a little more specific who respects your boundaries. And a lot of times people always think when you're expressing or talking or at least establishing your boundaries with someone, it has to be a very deep, dark conversation or very intense or powerful, because boundaries is a very strong word. It's almost like, don't cross this line. Very border-like, very militant, very, utilitarian in the sense of boundaries. Boundaries is actually an invitation. And so I read this about how people need to perceive boundaries as a drawbridge. I like where this is going. And now I actually want to get closer with this person. So I'm going to express my boundaries, opening my arm, opening my hand, lowering down the bridge, hoping that you respect and understand them. And I will do the same for you. But if you don't, I wish you the best. I close up.
Okay.
And so in that way, you're not being too nice, too empathetic, too giving. You're being fair, because boundaries are yours. You don't have to prove them. You don't need to convince someone. You don't need to change them. They're your boundaries. And if someone doesn't respect your boundaries, how do you think he's going to respect your body? If he doesn't respect your boundaries, how is he going to respect your heart? And so sometimes people feel like, they don't want to be mean. No, I'd rather you be strong. I'd rather you be firm. I'd rather you be stern. I'd rather you be confident. I'd rather you be direct. You don't have to be dramatic about it or needy or bitchy or cold about it. And so a lot of times I talk to people where they're saying when they talk about boundaries, they bring it up in this very aggressive way. And I'm like, no, that actually should make you realize if you're going to express boundaries to someone you're getting to know, it's because you see something you like and you hope they respect these boundaries. You should bring more of an enthusiasm to it.
Yeah.
And that way you're just, again, being fair. You're nice, but not too nice. You're nice, but you're also strong. Don't confuse my niceness with weakness.
I love what you mentioned, and that's something very interesting, because when we talk about boundaries, usually we feel like we will be mean, we will be negative, we will be the partner that is annoying. But no, in good relationship, we need boundaries. And we need boundaries that we will verbally talk about it. I've seen so many people that come to me and say, yeah, but look what he or she has done. Let's talk for you ladies. Look at what he has done. Did you tell him that you didn't like it? No, but, I'm so sorry. It's something we need to mention. Like in the previous episode, we just tell them, take notes of something, because then your subconscious mind will understand that it's important. Same thing for boundaries. If we don't talk about it, if we don't write them, then it's a gray line. It's become blurry. It's not something clear.
Yes.
So I think it's very important to mention it.
The right man, the good man, will respect your boundaries. When you talk about, again, I was thinking about this as you were saying that, how if there's something where you don't even need to be nice, and it's like the further, if not next step of boundaries, deal breakers. I don't have to be nice with my deal breaker. You know what? I'm going to have attitude because these deal breakers are deal breakers. I can't believe I'm in this situation. Obviously, you need to do a little more work. But boundaries got to be more like an actual reciprocal, engaging, mutual, fun conversation. Hey, also, you like this. Okay, I'm this. I know you don't like that. I'm like this. Cool. And then that way you understand, is that someone going to actually, boundaries is almost an instruction manual, how to get closer to me. If you want to get closer to me, if you want to be with me more, if you want to hang out more, if you want what you want with me, respect my boundaries.
Yeah.
And you're going to get all of it. And a lot of people think boundaries, again, as this very intense, serious
meaning
negotiation. You're like, no. Because if someone doesn't make you feel comfortable or at least safe to express your boundaries with them, then why are you even with this person?
Yeah.
So in that way, you've curated, if not filtered out all these, players and womanizers and narcissists and love bombers to a good person you're getting to know. Wow, this is a good person. Hopefully this turns into a good relationship. I want to be a little more optimistic with my boundaries with him because I want him to understand them. I want him to respect them. And most likely he will.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. So to rebound on the topic, which is good relationship, I want to know the importance in your mind to attracting each other, continuous, not take your partner for granted, continuing to have fun, have excitement, create new things. What is the importance in your mind of this specific?
Don't always think the success of the relationship is the success of your life. Always keep on pushing yourself, thriving and driving for more, always looking for something. Again, it's not about just more as in like materialistics and money. Have you heard about that movie, Materialists?
No.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but every girl's talking about it with Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans. It's quite funny. We'll talk about it next podcast.
Sounds good.
Yeah, the people are just going crazy about it. But the idea is like you always want to continue to better yourself, evolve yourself, not just for the relationship, but for yourself. Keep the relationship fun, keep the relationship exciting, keep the relationship, sexy and desirable. And so people look at it where if you're in a good relationship, you are now with someone who wants you to be the best version of yourself. And so stop obsessing over the relationship. Like for instance, I have a client where kids are gone for the summer. And so now with that extra time, she's obsessing more about the relationship. And I was like, when was the last time you had a whole summer off? Oh, I don't even remember. So the kids are with the grandparents all summer? Yeah. And now she's nitpicking more with the relationship that there is no problem of.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when was the last time you worked out? I'm not calling you anything. I'm not calling you on that. Well, I see your face. Like, I'm not calling you. You need to. When was the last time you did something you're right. Interesting. All right. Well, we have something, and right now is an opportunity this summer. What are we going to start this weekend that you're going to commit all summer that you enjoy and love that you haven't been able to do? She goes, I love nature walks. And I was like, perfect. It's free. It's always available.
Yeah.
It's therapeutic. And guess what? Get a weight vest. It's multitask. It's burning more calories and go for a nature walk. And she goes, you're right. So that's what you're going to implement on yourself, because now you're going to make yourself healthier. You're going to release some stress. You're going to become more in shape. You're going to be more tuned in with your actual spirituality, if not your core of who you are, because you're in nature, you're in mountains, and you're in trees, and she's not in that area where you have all that beautiful, images. And guess what? Your boyfriend, your future husband here is going to love that. He's going to get attracted to that. He's going to be motivated by that. And so she was like, you're right. I was like, you're about to attack the relationship. There was no serious thing. You guys actually resolved the previous thing. And now that there's more time in the hands, I'm going to really stare at him. I'm really going to magnify what he, oh, well, I'm like, you have an opportunity with no kids, and now you want to nitpick the relationship. Stop. You guys overcame the previous issue. Give it a break. There's always going to be an issue, but you guys overcame it. What about your issue? And so I told her, I was like, what do you want to do for yourself? And she's like, well, I want to, this. And I'm like, oh, so you didn't say anything for yourself. And so a lot of times I've seen that women, especially single moms, have a hard time doing that.
Yeah.
And so I think in good relationships, I see you and your wife, you guys support that. You guys are a team, but you're also individually partners of go do it.
Yeah, I think it's very important, as you mentioned. For me, it's the number one thing in a good relationship. You need to maintain the love.
Yes.
Because the moment you take your partner for granted, the moment you lose yourself, the relationship is over.
Yeah.
It's over. So I'm not saying that we need to focus only on it, because as we mentioned in our previous episode, love is not just about attraction. It's not about the feeling. It's not about the dopamine. No. But when you are in a relationship, you need to maintain the discovery, the fun, the excitement. And so it's something that I think it's the reason why people just break up or divorce. It's because they are not aligned. They don't feel the connection anymore.
They get disconnected.
Yeah, they got disconnected. And that is what we need to avoid.
You don't want to suffocate the relationship. You want to conserve it.
Yeah.
And so when you are in a relationship with a good person and you see how this relationship is becoming more promising, if not permanent, keep it there. Don't make it, don't spoil it. Use that as like your foundation, if not your backbone, to go try new things for yourself. Take more chances for yourself. Take more risks. Gamble on yourself. Invest in yourself because you got your good man or because you got your good woman next to you. And a lot of times people focus on just the process or the progress of the relationship. That's it. That has to always go forward. He has to understand me more. He has to anticipate more. He has to know more. He has to do, what about you for you? Because a lot of times as we get older, we just continue to do things for other reasons and other people, but for ourselves. I mean, I'm sure you now know, it's like, when do you get time for yourself? So when you do, you're like, right?
Yeah, of course.
And so you're like, I got to make the most of this time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's going to make me a better man. It's going to make me a better father. It's going to make me a better husband. But I got to be locked in.
For sure.
So am I selfish? Yup. For this 1 hour? Yes. Because you appreciate and you're grateful and you love what you have. And so a lot of times I feel like a lot of people thinking like, oh, selfish in a relationship. I'm like, yeah. Because you choose the right person to be selfish for.
Yeah.
Because you're being selfish within things that are important for you, not, again, superficial things.
And sometimes being selfish for yourself means then that you can give back more.
Yes.
As what you mentioned, if I take this hour for myself, then my energy will be better. Then everyone will be able to enjoy and to feel this energy, which is for me something very important. And every time we talk about the qualities in a good relationship, the issues, what we need to be careful with. But one thing that I wanted to mention in this specific podcast is that with all the tools from neuroscience to psychology to the attachment style to the love languages, everything that we mentioned in our podcasts, I feel like today we can have real love.
Yeah.
We can really have a good partner, good friends, good family. We also start to know exactly what are our values, what's important for us. So I see a lot of people being lost, depressed. But most of the time with the tools that we have, we can really understand each other.
That's a great, great point. And I'm going to go even further with that.
Go ahead, please.
At this time in the world, the 2025, where, men are feminine and women are masculine and everyone's this and everyone's that, and there's no right or wrong or whatever it is going on. Everything has been exposed.
Yeah.
We know what a narcissist is.
Yeah.
YouTube, green flags, red flags, toxic behavior. We all know what's out there. And then now, especially after pandemic wise, people are more open, if not accepting, to mental health, supportive, invested, and respected.
Yeah.
And so if anything, if you're still dating a naive, controlling asshole in today's world, you must not have a phone, a laptop, or like even awareness of what the world is. Because everyone has gone through enough post 2020 to be like, I got to prioritize my health. I got to take care of my relationships. I have to understand what's important in me. And even today through social media, and I see the reality shows, guys are opening up more now than ever. And women are trying to be a little more, if not less nurturing and more masculine in a sense, which is fine. But the idea, everything's on the table now. There is no like secret formula or hidden book of things. It's all about trying to organize that, having a direction with that. And when you have a coach, they're telling you on focusing on what the solutions are and not the problems.
Yeah.
And so again, we talked about in the very beginning, everyone searches clickbait and red flags and toxic. No one really focuses on the solutions and commits to it. Trust the process, like you said, because it's boring. Like,
Yeah.
well, I prefer boring than depression or a headache or
For
heartache.
sure.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not boring. That's just an idea.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you mentioned. That people think that it's boring, but at the end of the day, it's secure.
Yes.
But what is secure seems boring. But at the end of the day, as you mentioned, you don't want a headache. You don't want a depression. You don't want a lack of self-confidence.
No.
You don't want the night without sleep just because someone did something wrong to you.
Life will give you that.
Yeah. We already have it with everything.
Life will already give you that.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's coming next week and next week and next week. And then your body gets older and then you get slower. And so guess what? You already have whatever you do want, that excitement, life is going to give it to you. Trust me. So don't value, look, and search what that is in the love world where people say, oh, that's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Good is good. Good is safe. Good is solid. You want good. And I say it's like when you value something good, you have a fairness to knowing that you value what someone is and you accept what they're not.
Mm-hmm. I love what you mentioned.
You accept what they're not. You're like, okay, because I know he's not perfect, but I'm not saying he needs to be perfect and he needs to be 100% on board with me. But let's say 90% of them love it. Because in that way, you understand you're being reasonable to accept your flaws and insecurities and issues compared to, well, he better be perfect. He better do this right.
Yeah. I love what you mentioned because one of my clients from Belgium, she's so funny. She tells me, Alex, I know he's an avoidant, but I want him to respond every time to me. And I'm like, oh, like, she's amazing. It's exactly what you mentioned.
Did she just hear what she said?
She heard what she says. And you know what? It happens 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, because I follow her for 3 months. And there's a moment where I told her, look, you're fighting who he is.
Yes.
Either you accept him the way he is,
yes,
and he has flaws, but he has great qualities.
Yes.
Not the avoidant that doesn't care. He's just such a sweet man.
Yeah.
But he's an avoidant. He needs time for himself as well. And so I told her, like, you need to accept. And what you mentioned is it's beautiful, Coach Andres, because most of the people, they think good relationship needs to be perfect. No. Nothing is perfect. We are not perfect. You are not perfect, ladies. Sorry to tell you that. Everyone has flaws, etc. But if we accept everyone for who they are, then we can have a great relationship. The problem as well is if you accept someone for who he is and then you suffer.
Yeah.
Let's say that he's a cheater and you suffer. That's not good. But what we mentioned is that 99% of men, if you accept them for who they are, then you will have a great relationship. Yep. But if you focus on what they do wrong, then you will have your love life would suck forever. Then, so
you know how many times I've seen online or other people's stories about how they sacrifice, if not basically, just throw away 80% of something to the search of 20% of something they don't have.
Yeah, that's true. I read this one as
well. They throw away 80% or 85% of something. This is good, but you know, I want great. There's somebody with that extra 10, 15%. And as much as you might think that is possible, which it could be, you're sacrificing 80, 85% for what, 10, 15%? Good luck with that. I guarantee you when you get that 10, 15% at total, you might be at 20.
Yeah.
Because he probably has some other issues going on or something he doesn't do that the guy who has 85% has done.
Yeah, and most of the time, to be honest, we leave the 80, 85 in research of the 10, 15 that we never get.
Obsessed.
But the research obsessed
yes,
is killing you.
Like your client. I'm sure this guy sounds like he's good. 80, 85%. I want him to respond every time.
No, I was like, yeah, exactly.
Do you want an assistant or do you want a man?
Yeah, that's true. And especially when you know like he's an avoidant, I know he has never done it. He has great qualities. Don't fight his qualities.
Exactly.
Accept him the way he is sometimes.
I always said this to me, you know, when I'm out in the dating scene here and there, like, I'm not a needy person. Like, so don't expect me to be like texting you all day or, you know, no, I'm good. I'm good. And it's not because I'm doing what I want to do and I'm focused on what I want to do, but I value a phone call or a quality, you know, chat when we are texting back and forth a little bit. But the idea is like, sometimes, you know, you don't have to be everything for everyone. Just understand what works for you. Mm-hmm. And when you value and you commit, and again, we said this, and you write down what are important, good qualities in someone, then you have nothing but humility and gratitude towards actually accepting what someone's not. When you have compassion for someone or someone who's what they're not, that's how you know you're really in a good place. Because you're not bitter, you're not resentful, you're not guarded, and you're not judgmental. You're like, you know what? He's trying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you want. You want trying. You want progress, not perfection. And a lot of times people put this whole like perfectionism, entitlement, replace, swipe, next mentality. When you have something good, like understand, great is rare. Good is the goal.
Mm-hmm. I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. But the good news is we are here for you, ladies.
Yes, we are.
And we can help you. We can assist you. FrenchRelationshipExpert.com, coachingwithandres.com. You have a free assessment, right? Free evaluation.
Yeah, free consultation. So my contact information is there. Email me, message me, and I'm telling you, we'll get this scheduled as soon as possible. As soon as I hear from you, I'm going to send you a little questionnaire to get a little backstory of who you are. I'm telling you, we're here to help you find what you're looking for.
We love it. So remember also there is the 5 stars review. We need it. We want the comments, of course, and we will see you next week for a new episode. Ladies, take care of yourself and go aim for a good relationship. I see you soon.
Perfect.